Good afternoon and welcome to Middle East AI News Live. Ahlan wa sahlan. A few technical hitches today. This is the first day of the new season of Thursday Deep Dive, live on LinkedIn every Thursday, 12 noon KSA, 1 p.m. UAE. And this time streaming in live video, which is a new thing for me. So excuse the late start and the, I'm sure, few technical hitches that we'll see during the program. Today, I've got an interesting show. It's not the interview format with one guest. I have two great guests today, and we're going to look at the summer news from July and August. An awful lot happened in the Middle East during those months in the field of AI, and there's quite a lot to talk about. For those that haven't been here before, this is Thursday Deep Dive. This is my weekly Middle East AI Live show. And we generally talk to experts and movers, shakers, trendsetters from around the region about big developments such as investments, new companies, policy changes, and government programs that affect the AI ecosystem in the Middle East. And we do that every week. Post-show, there's usually a podcast recording that plays from Saturday. So if you happen to miss this, you can come back to it. And today we're going to talk about summer 2025 AI news. We had a lot of big AI news over the summer, including the adoption of AI curricula in Saudi and UAE schools, and introducing students, millions of students, in Saudi and the UAE to AI lessons, and rolling out to all government schools. It's huge. We then have Humane Chat launch, which was just last month, and that's the first alarm platform product to come out of Humane since it was announced in May. And that was rolled out to Saudi users last month as well. So we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about startup ecosystem, because we've seen some big changes over the last year, 18 months to the AI startup ecosystem, the number of AI startups, and the funding that those startups starting to receive, which is quite exciting. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that as well. And we're also going to be looking at the region's growth and the forecast for 2025, 2026. And then after that, we'll just see how much we can cover. So you're listening to Thursday Deep Dive from Middle East AI News. And we're going to be talking about summer 2025 AI news and recapping that. So let's get started. So I've got two great guests today. Firstly, I have Talal Al-Hammad from Saudi Arabia, and he is the founder and editor of Ent Arabi, and which covers technology and the entrepreneurship ecosystem around the region. And very, very happy to have him on the show today. Secondly, we have Samra Bata, who is a longtime journalist in the technology field in the region. It hosts the Al Reef podcast and is currently the acting editor of Arabian Business Arabic. So very much looking forward to hearing from those gentlemen, getting their views and asking them lots of questions. So I think we'll start with a piece of very recent news. If you're watching the news, or you're reading the newsletters and the articles on Middle East AI News, you'll see that G42 made a big announcement yesterday that they plan to sell 2% of their stake in Presight, which is the big data analytics and AI company listed on the ADX exchange in Abu Dhabi. And I'd like to have a chat about that. And for that, I'm going to bring on Samra Bata and talk more about those details. Just a moment whilst I do my own technical engineering and bring Samra on, which is all brand new to me, but I think we're going to be fine. Good afternoon, Samra.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Thanks very much for joining. And we're going to talk about a lot of things today, but we just want to talk a little bit about the news from G42 yesterday. And it's difficult to talk about the news from G42 because at any one point in time, they have multiple big announcements coming out, and you really have to watch them very closely. So G42, one of their announcements this week was that they are going to sell 2% of their stake in Presight, which is a G42 group company listed on ADX, and also with the majority shares of AIQ, which is the energy company that works closely with ADNOC. And that's big news for, I think, for G42, for Presight, and for the ADX community as well. What do you think, Samra?
Yeah, this is huge because it will give a big boost for Presight, it's in terms of visibility and regional and global, even international visibility, and it will raise its profile. And Presight has been very active in several areas. They have an incubator. They have, it's like a very big ecosystem. They have created and done great work in so many areas, like emergency response systems, they also have transformation, big data, analytics. They have so many offerings that are very interesting to follow. And as you probably know, today they announced the News Pulse platform, where they can extract some 500,000 news report daily, and they will get it to you. It's actionable, like you can just go for something you're after in terms if you're an investor or any analyst or whatever you can. This is very big also for that.
Yeah, it's the only native AI company to be listed on ADX in Abu Dhabi. So this is a big deal for Abu Dhabi Securities Exchange. I think it's also quite significant for the AI ecosystem in Abu Dhabi as well, because this is the litmus test really to what international investors are interested in these new companies coming out of Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, sure. It will be. This is like preparing the company to be listed in other indexes, like so many. It will be a big boost for its, as I said, its international profile. It will attract investors, and I think today they will announce that are about something worth $100 million of the value of the shares that they will be selling, and they will announce that today, I guess. So it's really very exciting news, and that's really big. It's very difficult to follow. As you said, there are so many developments on that front. You have to be on the pulse, as they named their news platform, which is like something really exciting.
Yeah, and you mentioned other exchanges, and globally, it was mentioned in the G42 statement that they aim. This is one of the reasons for doing this is to make Presight more attractive as a listing in the FTSE emerging markets.
Exactly. Yes, this is what I was trying to say. Yeah. Exactly.
So that it'd be interesting to see how that unfolds in the next 24 hours, 48 hours. I'm sure that I'm hoping they'll make an announcement today and let us know what they have in mind, and we'll follow it from there. So what we'll do now is we'll move on to the topics that we're actually going to talk about, which is summer 2025 AI. So I'm going to switch you for Talal, if you don't mind, and we'll bring you back in a few minutes to join the conversation on AI schools.
Sure.
Good afternoon, Talal.
Very good afternoon, Carrington. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks so much for coming. It's great to have you here. And I'll just jump straight into this, but I should remind everybody that you are CEO and editor-in-chief of Ent Arabi, and you cover technology, and you're based in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So there's an awful lot going on in Saudi Arabia on AI these days, almost daily as well. And one of the huge stories of the summer, but actually of this year, is Saudi Arabia and the UAE's plans, which have now come to fruition, to implement AI lessons across the public school system. And I think me, along with quite a few other people, when this was first mentioned, you wonder, okay, how practical is it to roll out new curricula from scratch across your whole government school system with millions of pupils and thousands of teachers, in basically a few months' notice. It was announced only a few months ago. You've been following this story in Saudi Arabia, so what's your take on this?
Well, it's a very bold move, actually, introducing the AI curriculum to the schools. We don't have full information right now, but what we know is SADAIA and the MCIT, SADAIA, the Saudi Arabia Data and AI Authority, and the Minister of Communication. They are joining forces to introduce this curriculum to all schools. And this is actually a big move, Carrington, because if you leave the AI just like you take it as it comes to you, you will not be involved. Today, actually, everybody heard about this news in the media. The Time 100, they named the top 100 AI influencers in the world, and 3 of them actually from the Arab world. Sheikh Tahnoon from UAE, Tariq Amin from Saudi Humane, and Heidi Khalaf in UK. So these 3 bright minds actually they are in the top and front head of the AI race. So the curriculum, it's the AI curriculum, it's a natural actually move to the schools. The plan is to teach over 6 million students in all levels AI. I think, and as I said, we don't have solid news right now, but how to use AI, how to develop it, the ethics of using AI, what to do and what not to do. All these things will be seen actually in this curriculum. So we are actually very excited to see it.
It is exciting, and it fits in very well with what's already happened over the last few years. And SADAIA has rolled out program after program in the education sector and also technology sector and work sector to increase the level of AI literacy, to increase the number of AI experts, and to provide career paths for those students to move into AI courses and AI positions. And because Saudi is such a huge country, the numbers are quite big, aren't they? So one of the programs that springs to mind is the SAMI program they've been running this year, where they're now, I think, over 350,000 Saudi general public trained in AI literacy. So this has not come out of nowhere, but even so, 6 million children, really, in this month?
Oh, no, it's in all levels.
Yes, I mean, but to introduce the AI curricula for all 6 million in one academic year, it's a huge undertaking.
It's a huge,
yeah. So we've also had in the UAE AI curricula rolled out, similarly to Saudi Arabia. And there's about 1 million children and students that started in government schools last month. And over the summer, they were training up teachers to be cognizant in what the AI curricula was, and also specialized teachers, I think about 1,000, that were trained up to actually deliver the AI curricula at schools. So again, massive undertaking. Obviously, the slightly smaller population, but still, very, very ambitious. And I believe the only other country in the world to be doing this right now is China. That also passed a mandate to deliver AI curricula across all its schools, and it's the same time frame. They're doing it right now. They just introduced. So that's quite impressive that we're right alongside.
Yes, actually, before Carrington, you will hear like something happens in the US or in China or elsewhere, UK, and after like 10 years comes to our region. we deploy it, we understand it, we put the rules, then we deal with it. Today, it's really changing. We are in the front head, all the GCC countries actually in the front head of the AI race, of the tech technology and startups and innovation. So this is very actually interesting time.
Yeah. And let me try and bring Samar into this as well. Hi again, Samar.
Yes.
Any
Yes,
perspective on the on this and on the UAE schools curricula and what's
Yes.
happened?
I'm really impressed at what's happening in Saudi and the UAE. Also, we have Egypt. They also introduced that.
Yes.
But I mean, each country, the way they approach this introduction of AI is very interesting, because there has been an argument even when internet came and the people started talking about computers in school early on, like in the 90s or 20s. What happened was some people were objecting. They are saying this is technology, but the whole point, I think, when you send your kid to school to learn drawing, maybe he will not be a painter or an artist, but at least if he has the potential, he will do it. In Saudi, for example, those Sadaya program like Samai and others, I noticed they are teaching them Python. So they are able to learning coding. Now you don't have to do it unless you have the aptitude or you feel you'd like to do that. So this is perfect. Like I studied math, we all studied STEM subject, but some of us might excel at one of them. So this people should understand that this is an offering. And even in Egypt, it will not be counted into your final grade as a student. So it's gonna be like very interesting. And there is no rush in it, because it has been, approach to Saudi and the UAE. But each one of them has very good preparation for it. For example, in Saudi, I'm sure they prepared the teacher, trained them beforehand, as with the UAE. In the UAE, I was trying to interview a couple of school principals. I interviewed some of them, and private school, but I was trying to see also in government school how they are tackling this issue, like training the teachers, making sure the student, as Talal mentioned, the ethics part, the cultural thing. So everything has been taken care of. As usual, I'm not worried about any issue with this introduction of AI in schools. I'm very happy. Although, most of the time I'm skeptical of everything in the beginning, but then I try to explore why.
All of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the things that invites skepticism, and is something that I'm also, been a bit of a skeptic about, is how you would implement such a program, such a curricula, and put the safeguards in to protect the children, to ensure that their, cognitive abilities are developed, not subdued. And one of the things I was really impressed by is the effort that's actually gone into that. To ensure that, firstly, that everything is looked at through an ethical lens on how to frame the whole curricula, but also on the safety aspect, looking at active AI usage, looking at limiting so that there's no overuse, and looking at active rather than passive AI usage. And I know in the UAE, and I expect in Saudi as well, there's a monitoring system that's been put in place with a monitoring committee, I think, or something like that, to track how this works and the effectiveness, but also the effect on children and their learning, and hopefully to accelerate that rather than to limit it in any way.
Yeah, I think I've been following the AI education for a long time. Like 4 years ago, Helsinki was offering a free certificate for you to learn about AI, and I went through it, did a story about it, and I was very happy that so many people from the UAE and from the Gulf read the story, and they got the certificate signed from the university for free. So I went through the course, and what happened was, it will only help you understand what's AI, because so many people are confused about anything AI. This is not AI. So it's like an introductory thing. So the whole thing, I think, in Saudi and the UAE is very well prepared and studied, because at least you should distinguish this. And if you have as I said, you have the aptitude to go for coding in Python or any other, so you can. There is they are opening the potential for everybody who has that willingness to or curiosity to follow through. So basically, it's good to understand that something in maybe self-driving cars or maybe in traffic lights or so many other devices we are, I mean, dealing with in our daily life in Saudi, everywhere, in the UAE, that we don't notice whether this is AI or it's just like a big data or whatever marketing thing they are calling it. So it's basically a very good introduction. People
Yeah, yeah.
should understand the language of our times. I mean, this is the language, which is, I mean, should be fine.
Exactly. It's a big shift, Summer. I think in the coming years you will see any job plus AI, starting from surgeons, dentists, doctors, teachers. So you would like to go to the advanced. I mean, if you are very good at your career and use the power tools of AI, you will be ahead and advanced actually in your job. And that's actually what people are looking for. This is advances our life and makes our life easier in all actually different aspects.
Absolutely. And we could talk about this for hours, I think, because there's so much going on and there's so many programs. And I think one of the most impressive things about the way that the UAE and Saudi Arabia have approached education for AI in general is they've really looked at all levels, from the ministers down to the primary school children. It's that everybody in the whole country has some kind of program that's tailored for them, that's aimed at them to increase the knowledge and the literacy there. So I think we'll round off on this topic and just switch to looking at the region's IT growth. I'm going to bring in Sam to talk about this initially, and then after that we'll talk about Humane Chat, the first AI chat to, we hope, be available throughout the Middle East, and just announced last month by Humane and made available to users in Saudi Arabia. So we'll come back to that in a few minutes. So we'll now just talk about the region's IT growth and what the prospects are for 2025, 2026. So see you in a moment, Talal.
Sure.
We were talking just before the program about IT spending and the region's growth and that sort of thing, and I pulled up some Gartner stats from their predictions from a few months ago, a couple of months ago, I think. Do you want to kick us off on this? Because obviously the big news is that AI is changing everything.
Exactly, yeah. I remember also other reports, they were mentioning that some startups are, are losing out funding because they are feeling there is everything. If you are in fintech or on any real estate or whatever, AI is the buzzword. If you don't have something to do with AI, investors are very hyped up and excited about investing in something with AI, because AI it's like has a huge potential for startups. So everybody would like, as they say, on the bandwagon of AI. So what happened? Some companies started to claim that they have something to do with AI. But in general, I mean, I feel that there is a lot of funding, more fundings than startups. This is what, I mean, several reports has been saying that we have a huge market opportunity for startups, for entrepreneurs to get involved.
Yeah. But I was the Gartner. This is the research I was talking about just a moment ago. So they released figures last month on 2025 spending and 2026 spending, but these actually differ significantly from the figures that they announced as a 2025 forecast 1 year ago. And the main difference is in the data center growth. And So the amount of investment that's going into data centers and the projected investment going into data centers has just rocketed up, and now this year will be 69% above 2024. And that's partly, if not mostly, due to the demand for AI and the forecast demand that they will have in the region from enterprises and also from service providers to provide AI services to their employees and users and general public. It's not a surprise, but just to see the figures is quite amazing.
Yeah, it is. Especially now we have so many requirements like regulation and sovereignty over control, privacy, and so many other issues are involved. That's why we see that data center, system is getting a lot of funding because there are some requirements, and also to offer, the latency in response to when you are getting your information from AI platform, you expect the least latency possible. So you need quick response, especially at critical application like self-driving cars and so on, and maybe surgery or maybe some other things that's very sensitive. That requires a data center basically to have.
Yeah, and the more pervasive this technology becomes, then the more demand obviously is going to be driven for data centers and for consultancy and for the AI platforms themselves. And I actually saw some media reporting on the Gartner figures for data centers as next year the data center growth is going to dip. But look, it's 37% forecast for next year.
Yeah, yeah.
So
because,
yeah,
because what's happening here, people are realizing something like if you go through the current situation between Trump and the European Union, the European Union is complaining because they are paying a lot for cloud services, and there is a digital the amount. The trade between the two, they are not very equal. It's in favor of the U.S. company like Amazon and Google and Azure, Microsoft, all that. So when they have data center, they will lessen this dependence on American, or this deficit in trade will be less than that. The same story with any other region, just like the Middle East. It's a regulation about sovereignty, privacy, having even the response time from if as we hear that, like I think Humane and even in the UAE, they will offer ChatGPT on their own platform or embedded. So this will require also data center to have good response time, latency, least latency, and a proper response. So all that is putting that demand. And something else I noticed here, which is data centers offer those US companies or any company something they call moat. It's like a monopoly. We control that. So now you have big names, for example, Amazon, Google, Microsoft. When you have something on your own, you are still capable to compete. And not only compete, just to lessen your dependency on so many big names like a global, those giant American companies. So when you have a data center, also you are cutting cost, and you are getting better maybe quality of service, and also you have like compliance with the requirement in several, which is very big.
Yeah, data centers is going to continue to be a very big story for this region, and there was a report that was covered by the media in the last month, I think, and the media coverage was actually a bit misleading. But the essence of the actual report, the projection for Saudi Arabia's and the UAE's investment in data centers and the scale of that data center capacity is projected in this report to be number 2 and 3 in the world. So that's the level of investment and attraction that's going into that sector in this region at the moment.
Yeah, that's very impressive. I feel that there is, we can't keep up with the news, especially data center and AI. Like over 24 hours, you have the cycle of the news is amazing. Like so many things are coming up. And what's good about the region here is they are aware of what is at stake, and they are trying to be and they are successful at, I think, and several fronts when it comes to investing in the correct, sector area that requires such investment, which is very good. Like, for example, startups, they are getting a lot of funding, which is a blessing for them. And it opens opportunity for so many entrepreneurs because you have the whole ecosystem. I remember once saying that if you are in the right time, right place, which was mostly the Silicon Valley or some other place, but now it is here, which
It
is
is.
like it's wonderful, more
And
than
we're here,
wonderful.
Summer.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm just going to bring in Talal as well here just for a moment, and then we'll move on to Humane's Arabic chat. Any comments to add, Talal?
Yeah, actually, I do agree with Samer when he said companies now adopt AI and add the AI just to also raise their proposition in the market. I remember this happened actually when the blockchain started earlier, and a lot of companies they added we are blockchain without the use actually of real يعني service of the blockchain. So today, I think we see the same thing, but investors are smart and know how to differentiate the real AI tools and what startups are bringing in on the table, and what startups to be invested in.
Yeah.
Yes, there are many startups. They are calling themselves that they are using AI, but using AI it's not enough. If you are deploying AI tools and the infrastructure and on different things actually, but yeah, no, I do agree with Summer. AI is a buzz name right now.
Yeah. Well, let's stay with startups for a couple of minutes because, from my point of view, the whole AI startup ecosystem has undergone some big changes in the last 18 months or so. And what I've seen is the apparent reluctance of investors to invest in in AI startups seems to be going away, which I would attribute partly to having better startups to invest in that make more business sense, and also the knowledge level in the region and the ability for investors to actually validate, okay, what are we putting the money into? And as a result, this year we've seen lots of AI startups relatively get funded, and in the last few weeks, it's been amazing. We've seen Lucidia raise 30 million over the summer, or announced 30 million raise over the summer. Yesterday, or so the day before, Intella announced their 12.5 million raise. So I really got a very optimistic view of the AI startup sector now. Talal?
Well, the news of the week, yes, Antella has raised 12.5 million, and the Antella model is speech to text, right? And what I like about them is they are comparing their tools with international actually companies, and they are competing them. Why? Because they are local and they have, I don't know, maybe 25 dialects in the Arab world. So it's not only about the translation; it's about understanding the culture and the dialect of the region. I was watching them comparing their tool with companies like Netflix and others, and their accurate translation, yeah, it's almost 100%.
Yeah.
So I think
I think they claim over 95%.
yes, 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 yes. No, I mean when I watch their translation and speech to text, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So I think these tools that we are looking for, and what should be actually funded, and they got funded from international actually players in the market.
Yeah. One of the there's been many research studies come out this year on AI usage, AI adoption, on use of Gen AI, ChatGPT, and also use of corporate AI. And one of the things that stuck out to me is everybody in the whole region is using ChatGPT and Microsoft Copilot and other assistants every day. And a lot of them are using by voice, and a lot of them are using Google search by voice. But actually, everybody has a problem with corporate AI and how it speaks to them. And that's why Intella's solution just seems like a killer.
Yes, yes. No, actually, we are expecting. Actually, they are coming with very good solutions to the market. And as you said, everybody actually is using ChatGPT and other tools. We would love to see. At Ent Arabi, we analyze the traffic coming from different AI tools. Mostly come from ChatGPT and the flexibility. We hope to see some also traffic coming from Humane in the future.
Yes, which is a very good bridge. Thank you, Talal,
Yes.
to lead into Humane. Humane, of course, a national AI company of Saudi Arabia, was announced in May and is backed by a public investment fund. And we've certainly seen, that they've ramped up their activities, and we're seeing an announcement virtually every week from Humane of significance about new products, platforms, partnerships. And last month, of course, we had the release of Humane Chat, which is an Arabic English bilingual chat developed in Saudi Arabia with all the cultural nuances and knowledge of the history of Saudi and the region, in fact, and a knowledge of Arabic dialects. So have you tried it, Talal? Have you spent much time using Humane Chat?
I did, and it is actually amazing. As the first version of Humane, it's really great, and it comes in 3 to 4 months. Actually, they finished the deployment and the launching of Humane, so it's quite impressive. And Humane also has Humane Create. A lot of people they talk about Humane Chat. It's like the ChatGPT version, but also there is a Humane Create where you can create videos and different things actually. So I also encourage people to try that. It is impressive. And what is really impressive about it, it's locally here in Saudi. So all your data and the information and everything, it's not stored on board, but it's here in the region.
Yeah. Sorry, I was going to yes, but of course this is only available currently to users in Saudi Arabia, and I think even as far as your phone settings go, you need to have a Saudi phone setting and Saudi service provider to download it even. But the plan is to make it global, and that it will be available soon across the region. So we look forward to that.
Yeah, actually, Tarek Amin, the CEO, he just actually posted on LinkedIn that they are launching also a Humane Academy. And he's taking right now the feedback from people, what should be focused on, and so on. So it's a great, like when the leadership involved the audience in advancing the tools, because at the end of the day, these are the clients are using it. So if you take their feedback and everything from them, you will suit the tools to them.
Yeah, in fact, they've been very open about that their whole goal of making this open to Saudi users straight away is to get that feedback and input on how it works and what's, iron out any glitches before it goes global. So that makes perfect sense. And then, of course, the other news that Tarek broke this week was that the Humane AI PC will be available next month sometime. And the details will be announced soon, probably by the end of the month. but that is an AI PC with actually Qualcomm Snapdragon chipset, and that is integrated with the Alarm Arabic language large language model, which of course is behind Humane Chat. So this story's got a long way to go yet.
Yes,
Yeah.
actually, we will see a lot of improvement on the humane, and many actually also products aligns with their vision, and humane PCs also, and we would like to see more news about it. And one more thing also, Carrington, when you were talking about AI and utilizing here the tools, I was just like, people now use the chat GPT or any AI tools, talk to them like they tell them all the secrets, all the information and everything that they hide it from other people. But maybe in with the humane, maybe it is a bit different. I mean, when something that you don't say it to a human, you can say it to humane, because it is locally here. I mean, your information will be, at least that where the information are taking it.
Yeah, and that sovereignty issue is really becoming a massive one now. It's something that I think a lot of people thought last year or the year before, certainly, that this is something that governments and central banks talk about. It's not really relevant to me, but actually it is. It's now relevant to everyone with this increased usage of these models and the amount of data going outside the country.
Yeah, actually, there is one point I would like to point out. I noticed, I mean, I read several reports saying there is a very popular trend that people are going after, AI in device itself as an edge. Like it is without internet, without anything, it's embedded in the device. So I was wondering whether Domain will offer in their devices the whole thing, the whole AI LLM without connection to the internet, so that at the time this is like total privacy and sovereignty. So
I believe that's the case. I believe that's the case,
which would be wonderful. I mean, like to have it this is very popular, to have everything on your mobile without connection,
without the need of the connection, right? Yeah,
exactly. So if you have it here, you trust it. Nobody's listening.
Yeah,
and I want to come back to that point you mentioned on the Arabic area. Every Arabic token counts. I tried ChatGPT to design something, and and I wrote the Arabic word for it. Google, ChatGPT, even audio for 11 Labs. They do transcription, they do translation, whatever. Arabic failed miserably. With people, you don't understand sometimes the intricacy on some details when we talk about Arabic. It's not only about dialects; it's about supporting the right to left direction of Arabic, how to get the letters right. There has been several disasters in like printed material. When somebody doesn't know Arabic, he will print it. It will become scrambled like left to right, everything. So the same is happening now. This was in the 90s when internet came. Oh, this doesn't support Arabic. This is right to left, left to right. So now the same thing is being repeated.
While expectations are gone higher and higher and higher.
Exactly. Yeah. I was furious when ChatGPT, Google, every platform I tried, even when I did some podcast, I said, okay, let's try to transcribe this, because this is very popular now. If you have a podcast or any video you post, you are able to put it in several tracks, like audio tracks. So I know so many big popular guys and podcaster or YouTubers, they have noticed that they are popular in the Middle East. So one guy and several of them, they have Arabic tracks. And that Arabic tracks is getting improved because they are using some Arabized or Arabic LLMs, which is like amazing. Like you imagine somewhere you are in Saudi and you have that Saudi accent exactly. People will connect better. Language is about connection. That kind of cultural, identity, that it's something not tangible. You don't feel it, but you have to get it right.
Not only about translation. You're right.
And it's just so close. but it's not quite there yet.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we have about. In fact, we're almost out of time, which is fine because I think it's been a really great chat, and I'm very grateful to you two gentlemen to joining me today on this first very experimental Thursday deep dive. And I do have to apologize. Excuse me. I do have to apologize to the viewers and listeners today because I wasn't able to ask for any questions, let alone take any questions. Because my knowledge of the setup and all of the controls is still pretty rudimentary. So sorry about that. I'm happy to catch up on questions after the show. If there's something that we mentioned or talked about that you'd like to get a reference for or find out more about, then please do ping me on LinkedIn or by the website or other ways you can reach me. But today didn't quite get to the questions and answers, so I apologize for that. Any closing comments that occur? I just one for Samara. You mentioned 11 Labs. I love 11 Labs and I use it daily. But the Arabic words and place names, just really can't handle them.
Well, actually, I mean, the development, the speed is amazing. There is an open source competitor to 11 Labs. I think it's called Daya. I've written a report about it. It's way better than 10 times better than 11 Labs.
Oh, really?
It's Arabic. It gets like the conversation. You feel several, like all the features of your natural speaking. They will get it right, like laughing, interruptions. I mean, the response. And it is open source. It is free. But at the end of the day, you have to remember, whatever is open source is not exactly what you think is open source. It's not free. So you have to be careful about so many other things.
This is also true.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Samar Bata. It's been a real pleasure. So glad to have you on this show. And one day we'll definitely do this again. Talal, again, thanks so much. Really, really great talk and insight there. And I'll round off today's show, and then next week I will hopefully be better prepared for my first big interview on Thursday, deep dive. And next week I'll be talking to. Now I've forgotten. Sorry. Next week, I'll be talking to Noor Taha, CEO and founder of Intella, that of course announced that 12.5 million raise.
I did not know that you will host her, so I thought good about the Hell Company a lot.
I've been following it since probably 2 years, and it's the news all makes sense. The feedback you get is all good. And now they're raising the money. So I'm really looking forward to talking to her next week. I did write up the story on the 12.5 million raise, which is on the website, middleeastainews.com, but not quite the same thing as getting that inside story. So I hope to get that next week from Noor when we talk on Thursday. That will be same time, so 12 noon KSA, 1 p.m. UAE. Again on LinkedIn Live and also on YouTube. I wasn't 100% sure we're going to be streaming on YouTube today, but we were. So another little step forward. And hopefully by next week, I'll be a little bit more polished with the production and not 10 minutes late. So let's look forward to that.
Thank you, Carrington, and thank you, Samar. I'm glad that we are one of your first video interviewers.
Me too. And thanks for your patience. It's much appreciated.
No, thank you.
Pleasure meeting you, Talal. Thank you, Carrington.
Great. So see you again soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Great. Thank you very much for being with us for the past hour or a few minutes or whenever you joined. And just a note again that this will be back same time next week, 12 noon KSA, 1 p.m. UAE. You'll always find more details about this show and future shows on MiddleEastAInews.com. and the links to join the shows. If you haven't subscribed already to Middle East AI News, then you can do that via the website www.middleeastainews.com, and you could also follow the YouTube channel. And I'm hoping that this show will be podcast on Saturday, and the podcast will be available on most streaming channels. So thanks very much for joining me, and look forward to seeing you next week.